gentlemen, welcome back to the Airing It Out podcast. He is Hollow Clutch, and I am Dustin Marion. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode. What is going on, Hollow? How are you doing, buddy?
It's been good, man. It feels like a century ago, but it's
know,
took
no
a
kidding,
week off.
right?
Everybody regrouped,
Yeah.
COVID and Thanksgiving and all these crazy things.
Vacations and all that shit.
Everything
Yeah,
going
no,
all over the place.
we were supposed to do the Friday, but I kind of figured that was going to be a tough sell. Did you get anything on Black Friday?
Not really. I got a few like minimal things. Like I bought myself a little mini fridge.
Oh, that's sick. I
Just so
love
I don't have to go to the kitchen when
I know.
I'm playing.
That's the best. Lazy life. I love it.
I think for the most part, I revamped my whole computer. Kind of.
Oh, I know. How did that go? Everything is fire now?
Fire. Like top of the line almost.
Does it fly now?
Flies.
Really?
I got the best processor, everything. One of the best GPUs. Got the fans, everything.
You got the liquid cooling. You got the fucking
everything.
RGBs.
Everything. It's just looking like a party now. Matter of fact, let's bring the people into.
Yeah. Come on, look at this thing.
We're lit now.
Ooh, that shit looks sick. And then it has a temperature thing.
So this is the processor. It stays at 40 degrees below. And then I got the fans in there.
What's that thing? What's that thing glowing back and forth like that? What is that?
It's a strip. That's
that shit looks
and I have another one on the bottom.
Damn.
So now we lit
so
now.
grand total 1,500 or more.
Grand total, everything like 2 G's.
Fuck. Golly.
But I did a lot of selling the old parts. So like I sold a lot of the old parts. I got one of the other graphics cards that sold for $400 over value. So
was that the one that you showed us the last time on the last episode?
Correct. And I sold that for $1,300.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So I made close to $500 profit on that. So like this.
So then basically you didn't come out of your pocket.
Not as much
as
as
you got double the 13. That was the whole deal.
About.
That's dope.
Because I get my money back from that. So
what happened? You just bought that as an extra, and then all of a sudden the price like went through the roof.
It was going through the roof anyway because they're super hard to get, like the PS5s and Xboxes right now. And
so how did you find one then for 400, not 1,300?
No. The original price of that is $800.
Shit.
So I had to buy it for $800 and then sell it for $1,300. So I made the money in between.
So basically, that shit is not on the shelves anymore. That's why it jumped up like that.
Correct. Well, you gotta go and check and see if it's in stock, wait online, kind of thing. Nothing like how we used to do back in the day in a sneaker line.
Remember that shit, bro?
But
fucking sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, like cardboard boxes and shit.
At least we learned the fucking cheat code from the homeless folks in New York City. Because let me tell you something, that concrete is no joke to sleep on.
So that like that. I'll play the factor, and then just selling off little parts. So like I'm maybe spent $800, $900, and just upgrading.
So for people that are looking into, maybe buying a computer and stuff like this, most of those parts, if you don't beat the shit out of them, they hold their value, basically.
Correct. So they should be solid 3 years. And like if you want a peak performance. So like my computer should be good for the next 5 to 8 years. So like,
see, that's the computer I want, but that's a $2,000 computer.
Exactly. So like right now I have like the PlayStation 78 and the Xbox 95. Like it's like that far of advanced than everything else.
And now for the most part, they keep, because of computer gaming, they keep making games for PCs, right? Like it's not
correct. That's where you want it optimal to be optimized on. So that's where it's at right now.
That's fucking nuts, bro. Because I was looking at all I do is stay up sleepless nights looking at fucking PC versus Mac and that whole shit, which we'll get into in a second. But I wanted to tell you about my Vegas trip, bro. It was fire. It was amazing. Vegas was, I guess it was different only because, first of all, the strip closes Monday through Wednesday.
It's shut down? No, nothing?
Not
or
shut
like
down, but they don't have like it's open, but like let's say shows, this and that, like I didn't even check the strip club or anything like that, but let's say all the primetime stuff won't open until Thursday. So they save all their nuts to make sure, I guess, that when they open the doors.
So they go ham Thursday, Friday, correct, Saturday, Sunday.
For the weekend, yeah.
Okay,
makes sense. So it was kind of killer. And then it was a little colder than expected, bro. I didn't realize how cold it was. I went out there trying to floss and shit, and it was freezing on the low.
But it said it gets really hot during the day, but then it gets at night, it gets like brick, like.
But this was different because that's what I thought, right? Super hot, but it was like, let's say it was 70 in the day and then like 40 at night.
So like New York.
Right. It was a 100%. I was like, damn, I know this weather. I know this weather.
I'm back to normal. This is normal me.
Yeah. So and then I went to a shooting range. Shout out to Precision Range. Those guys were great. It was awesome. It made me definitely become more understanding on how serious owning a gun is, bro. Like the last time we went, I think he was in the circle back in the Dizzy. I think Chris and a bunch of cats went out to Vegas and they went shooting. And then when I drove out here, I went to I think it's called The Range. Went out there and I forgot how amazing it was because I think I shot an MP3 and I guess that gun is really well designed that I didn't really feel the true impact of what a gun was. So when I went back, I was like, all right, I want to shoot a handgun. I want to shoot I always get this confused. I think it's a semi-automatic, right? That's a machine.
Everything is
right.
Yeah, single shot. Everything semi-automatic is single shot.
Okay, so semi is
that's all single shot. That's pulling the trigger.
So
automatic is holding the trigger.
There you go. So I wanted to get something that was auto, and I wanted to get something that was single. So I get this. I get the Glock 48.
Okay.
Cause that motherfucker was no joke. It was so strong. And then I thought about getting the Desert Eagle, but I was like, let me take it easy.
Chill out. let me chillax here.
Bro, and like I said, it was definitely different to hold a weapon that was so powerful. It was much more powerful than I anticipated.
Like when you shoot guns, is like, all right, the movies are bullshit.
Bro, that's exactly what I thought. Okay, first of all, La Colombiana, bullshit. There is no way.
We can't hold a gun like that. Just one hand and just.
Bro, the one that I thought about the most was the ghetto side turn. Yep, I was like, bro, you will smack yourself in the face.
Right in the teeth.
There's no way. Because I was holding it with two hands, just the way homeboy showed me, and it was still fucking flinging me back. Yep. And then I was thinking about Call of Duty, and I'm like, this shit is even harder than that. Because I'm trying to shoot shit. Like I shot from 3 feet or 3 yards, I think, and then 5 yards, and then 10 yards, or 7 and then 10. And I was still hitting with the handgun. I was trying to shoot motherfuckers in the face. It's kind of hard to shoot a handgun from far. And then you have like, I don't even know what they're called, but let's say the aiming things on the piece. It was tough, bro, and it made me respect the game. Plus, loading the magazine is hard as fuck, bro. Yep. Like one at a time, I was like, "This is some bullshit."
It's not as easy as people think.
People gave me the speed loader, and I was killing it, bro. I was like, "Yeah, this is fire." And then I went gangster. I said, "I'm never gonna be able to shoot this gun in real life," so I got the AK-47. That motherfucker, bro. Wow.
Next day, you was like,
bro, it left a bruise in my arm and in Shorty's arm. That's how strong that cocksucker was. It was no joke, and that was really hard to aim, even in single shot, because you gotta like anticipate the gun going up, right? So you gotta kind of like aim lower. That one was harder. From 10 feet, that was difficult. I felt like the handgun was a little bit better, but it also made me think, not to beat a dead horse. I'm like, why are police emptying out magazines on fools? If you got shot one of these things, like in the movies, in the movies, it's a flesh wound. It's a flesh wound, right? Bro, if you got shot with that handgun, I think you'd be down.
Yeah,
just one bullet.
If you shoot people with the kneecaps on the ass cheek, they're like, oh, all right, time out. This shit hurt.
So imagine if you empty a magazine on a fool.
Like, I think they shot what 56 times. Amadou Diallo.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like homeboy was dead in 2. What are you?
56 shots.
I'm not even trying to like joke about it, but it's serious because that guns are serious, man. And that's what I learned a little bit in my.
It kind of like I don't get anxiety, but when I do hold a gun, you kind of think about the power you have in your hand.
Correct. Bro, I was shaking.
Yeah, because it's like
my adrenaline, because I respected it.
Yeah.
And it was I was feeling you on that.
Because you don't want to you don't want to make a mistake like in any direction. Because like
I could kill somebody.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
you can kill yourself even on top on
Facts.
some Cheddar Bob shit, like shoot your leg or something like that. Like that's the one thing I could say. Like we're going to Texas.
When you guys going to Texas?
The 17th.
So man, I'm gonna be up in there. I wish we could have linked up. I'm gonna be in Texas the 20th.
I'll be there. We leave the 22nd, so maybe we can link up for like 2.
West side
we're gonna be in Dallas, around the Dallas area.
Okay, I think I'm close to you guys.
Okay, so we'll definitely link up.
Yeah, if that's possible, maybe we could do a show remotely. I'll bring
for sure. For sure. Because I want to do that because I'm gonna do the gun range over there. But I've done it years ago. But I want to do it again because my boiler's out there. I was like, yo, you gotta take me. We're gonna do the kaboom package. Like I want to do everything. Every gun I could think of, I want to do that.
That was the one thing that I didn't see that they had. Like when Chris went, they had like packages like James Bond, and they had like a handgun, and then like a cool other gun, and then another gun. They didn't sell packages. I think in the range they did that like a little bit.
It probably depends on where. Was that is that the best known one in Vegas?
No, the best known one was the range, but the range. So this was another thing too, because of COVID, these places closed early. So the range. So make sure you keep that in mind. I don't know if it's gonna affect Texas, but I was in Vegas, so it could be possible. They stopped letting people in after 2 p.m.
Okay, so I'll probably do that early.
So you and I are right. You and I are a little bit more nighty, right? So I'm thinking like, oh, cool. I'll slide up at 4. I mean, that's not too late. But already they would shut me down, so I couldn't go to the better one. Technically, I don't know if it was better or not. I just think that the range is bigger because where I went to the precision range, they only had I think like 5 stalls to shoot. The other one I think had like maybe 10 or 15. It was large. It was a lot bigger.
Got you.
The place you shoot guns, man. I got to get the terminology down pat because I sound like a.
Did you do any bets?
So check this out. So Tabby got me all fucking pissed off on the low because I'm like, yo, first of all, there's a sports book there, right? And you can
in any hotel you walk into.
Correct, but again, it was COVID. So where I was at, I didn't see like an official sports
book.
Spot.
Okay,
yeah. So then when I went to this other place, that my man, shout out to Sean if he's watching, I sent him the link. But bro, he took me to this place that was fucking phenomenal, bro. It was probably like the only, well, I'm not gonna say the only, but one of the better, cooler spots. It had like stadium seating. It had like a fucking movie theater TV, and they were betting like crazy. The bet that I wanted to make, I was going to make 2 bets, but now thinking about it, I would have just broken even. I was going to take Tom Brady in the over, or I was going to take the Rams in the under. Obviously, the Rams in the under, I think, hit. Because the last time I checked, it was like 49.5. That was a total for the game, and I don't think they went there. 24 plus 24 is 48. Plus 2. Actually, I think they did hit the over by a half a point. So I probably would have lost, which was fine. But yeah, no betting. But so I go try to gamble. I lost like $10 in 1 second. It's a blackjack, bro. Shit was whack. I was like, this is garbage. Then Tabitha wants to play roulette for some cats in the where she works. And homeboy said he must have been watching Passenger 57 too many times because he was like bet on black. That shit lost. Then he put a number in black. That shit lost. So I tried to recoup that money. I lost. But one thing that I did learn about playing roulette is that depending on where you're playing, because of technology, they literally have like what numbers are hitting. And so I kind of learned that if I was to play, I would like to play at a table that way because it looked like red was hitting way more than black. And then Tabitha made a bet again for that black and that black number, and 00 green hit. So obviously,
the shit
is rigged. Shit is
super rigged. My method on the roulette table is I bet half the table. So I have a 50-50 chance of winning.
So what are the numbers when you say bet half the table? So you bet like 18 and under and then 19 and above?
So you would bet I normally bet the high side, right? So what you got the 18 to 24, I think is the middle, or 19 to 24 is the halfway point, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So those are 6 boxes. So if you put a chip in the middle of those 6 boxes, that row, it's 5-1 odds.
See, that's the shit that I didn't get to know really well.
Yeah, so
like where to bet and how much money am I going to double up if I hit? It was very
yeah. So that is 5-1 odds, right? So if any of those numbers, 19 to 21 or 19 to 24, hit, you hit 5-1. So if you put $25 there, you would win $1.50 or $1.25. You would win because you get your back your $25. Now then you do the what is it? So it's 24. So that's what 25 to 36. Is the one in the middle of all of them, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. You put you get 3-1. So you win if you hit from 25 to 36, you win $75. But so you get your $25 back, so you make $50 profit.
Got you.
So I'm always betting $50 at a pop. So it'll be either you hit for $75 profit or $25 profit. Or you lose if it goes anything under, but that's a risk you take. But I'm betting half the table, so it's like 50%. So it's 50-50.
So you see all that shit, those nuances. I didn't know jack shit. So that was already a loss. Then I get smoked at the motherfucking table, and then it was kind of cool. So there's this rumor, and it's not a rumor, but if you play, you get free drinks, right? But you gotta play long enough for them to come around, right? So I was getting smoked, and like I never got no fucking free drinks. I was like,
you was getting smoked so fast that you was like, "Yo, I'm out," and then none of the waitresses came.
So the cool thing was at this specific location, what I liked is they had a bar with a video game blackjack there. So automatically I didn't have to wait or lose. They already came through and the drinks were on the house because I was gambling, which I thought was fire. I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. And the bartender was really dope. But then, so Tabitha's like, yo, I want to go play slots, right? I'm like, all right, I'll fuck with you. I hate gambling. I'd rather gamble with anything else, but this money shit I don't fuck with. So we go, and she's like, why don't you pick a machine? So you seen the movie Billions or the TV show Billions?
Yes.
I've heard of the TV show Billions. So I'm like, all right, cool. This is the machine that I'm going to hit. I look for the character with the red hair. I was like, this is my guy. He's going to come through for me. $10, gone, quick, out. Forgive the alarm in the background, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's not fucking watching their vehicle. Then Tab is like, I still want to play. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go look for a machine. But she's like, yo, I don't really know all these machines. This shit is mad complicated. Let's go hit penny slots. So I'm like, whatever, penny slots, that's fine. Yeah, see this guy's. Hold on one sec.
No problem.
Yeah, this guy.
I think that's Merc is Esteban, right?
Yeah.
He's in the chat. What's going on, Merc? He's like, tell him about the time he got his shoes shine in Vegas.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Yo, tell her, listen, you're listening, bro. I told that story a whole bunch of times, bro. Fucking ridiculous, my guy. Fucking shoe shining. But that was a trip. That shit definitely made Vegas fucking interesting. I know he's not a huge fan of Vegas. We had decent time. I think the road trip was better than the Vegas trip. But so anyways, damn it. Are you gonna stop, bro? Or what? I'm breaking my shit.
He's probably looking for his car. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, I don't understand. To be honest with you, do we still need car alarms?
No.
Like, people are not even jacking your shit.
Well, in Cali, the governor coming in and cut your dick off in Cali right now. The way that's going. But keep going.
So we're on the penny slot floor, and she's like looking aimlessly, right? And so like she stops in front of this machine, but like my body like bumps her with my pelvis. I just bump her to sit down. And we sit in front of this machine, bro. She presses one button, and it was like this Asian kind of theme machine. So it had like dragons and all this other shit going down. Bro, with 1 penny, homegirl wins $485. One button, one press.
And I was like, I'm out.
Bro, not only that, for sure. I said, cash out, we're done. Not only that, it was the only machine I heard in 3 days go off. Or anybody being excited about anything. Like when I was there, no one won.
They probably got the machine so tight.
Oh, and so what I was thinking was, I bet you there was some old lady who like put mad bread. It was like in the movie, like Ocean's 11, that he just puts the one quarter.
Oh yeah,
and then he hits it. That was exactly what happened to us. And bro, that shit is going off. And then imagine this: in the middle of a huge Vegas casino, empty, nobody.
Nobody's in Vegas.
Nobody was there. No, and when we hit the machine, so that shit is making mad noise and everything, and we just by ourselves laughing and having a trip. It was comedy, bro. I really had a good time in Vegas. We also had some really, really great people that met us out there, or not met us out there, that are from out there and just showed us an amazing time. It was phenomenal. Like I said, I'm highly considering now with Mother Russia, where I live, that I was thinking about, like I told you, moving out there. It was chill. But again, empty. A lot of spots were empty. A lot of things were closed. The strip wasn't as popping. Like, I think it was, Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving is like one of the bigger nights of getting drunk. Bro, ghost town. Nobody, nowhere.
Damn.
Right. The hoppinest place was on Tuesday night, and then it was the Bellagio. The Bellagio was, man, that place is choice. Now I know why they try to steal the money from
and then Ocean's 11.
Yeah, that's what. And then also to the sprinklers.
The waterfall, the waterfall show.
It was dope. They put like some music to it and some light shows. But all in all, Vegas was fun. I would definitely go back. I met some really cool dudes, and I met a bunch of handicappers. If you could imagine that.
Well, but I could see that happening because I'm pretty sure they all live out there.
Right, it makes sense. I met a couple of sick handicappers.
It's just easier just to drive to any hotel, put your shit in, and bounce.
Right. But these are guys that are like also giving advice and all that kind of stuff. So it was dope. I had a really, really great time. Hopefully get an opportunity to get these guys on the show and shit. But it was dope and awesome. I was really excited to go to Vegas. I was kind of happy that it probably wasn't so busy.
Yeah, you probably would have not enjoyed it as much.
Probably not. Because
there's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was chill. And then we ate filet mignon every night. I was gonna get some escargot, but I was like, I don't know if I want to fuck with this shit. But yeah, went to Javier's. Have you guys? There's no Javier's over there.
Not
right?
that I've never heard of them.
It's like a high-end Mexican restaurant. Pretty sick. But we went there. We went to a couple of steakhouses. Wolfgang Puck's place. But yeah, dude, it was so trippy to see all these multi-million-dollar fucking casinos just crickets and closed. Areas closed. Like this bar is not open. Because that's how it kind of is. I don't know if you've ever been to Vegas. Like, this is my second time going, but I got to like really watch it a little bit closer. And they have like little boutique bars.
Like all set up all over the place?
Yeah, and all that shit was closed.
That's crazy.
And they were calling like last call at 9 o'clock. I was like, bro.
What?
Right. I mean, granted, like the main bars, you could keep getting toasted.
That's crazy though. Like,
yeah, it is crazy.
They need to open everything up. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
I know we were talking about computers.
Yeah,
you're excited to tell me something about computers. I have no idea what is going on with this.
So check this out. First of all, I want to tell everybody that I watch the stock market really closely, and I think with this new revelation that I think Apple right now is trading for like $116 a share. It just split about a few months back.
Yeah.
And it was trading about like 420 before it split. I think Apple's a buy. And the reason why I think Apple's a buy is that for a long time, Apple strictly used Pentium or Intel processing chips.
Okay.
So now they just invented this new thing called the M1, right?
Okay.
Sounds like a motherfucking Beamer. But basically, it's the most powerful processing chip that has ever been designed. And it's by Apple because Apple, I guess, has been getting screwed by Intel for a while, paying them money because I guess Intel makes a lot of shit for them.
Okay.
And so what this thing is like, first of all,
so this is what they're claiming, or this is like what like?
No, these are the facts on the street.
From like testing and stuff.
Right. So from all these geek benchmarks, which I didn't even know what it was until a few days ago, but they've cranked this thing out, and so like the speed on this thing is just unbelievable. The thing is that it's all integrated, and I know like PC people.
That's why it's tricky because sorry to cut you off, but it's tricky because
go ahead.
They like I think Ryzen is gonna do something similar with their like processor, motherboard, and graphics card because they just came out with their new graphics card. So like it's tricky because then you're forcing people to buy everything and one thing, which is Apple's always known for that anyway.
Correct. Yes.
So like it's gonna be the most optimal, but has to be use its parts. So that's what Intel was. Intel, like you can't upgrade certain parts. So
right, and only certain parts are compatible with
exactly.
Intel, right?
So keep going.
So this thing, so on the motherboard, right? It has RAM built in. It has the GPU built in. And then it has it's an 8-core processor. So it has 8 cores. It has like I think 8 or 16 gigs of RAM built into it. And apparently this thing flies, bro. And like so now they just released the Mac Mini, the Mac Air, and then I think another laptop, and they're not really expensive. And I'm looking at it now only because you obviously know how to build computers and stuff like that, but it seems like
you're trying to get the best bang for your buck.
Correct. Not only that, it seems like when it comes to video and audio engineering, Apple kind of figured out how to make it look more pretty.
That's the issue. That's the one thing that you can't deny them is that they have their things look pretty. Like they do, they look dope. It's just that I just hate that their innovation jumps are so minute. Like they're like
this one is
half an inch. Because I'm reading some of it now. It's more. It's more. The chip is more like they're the beast for laptops.
Right.
Like it's the beast chip for laptops. It won't be for a tower.
But they're already supposedly working on.
They're probably working on a tower, but right now this chip is for straight. If you wanted to run do everything on your laptop.
Right. So I was looking at the Mac Mini personally because I don't want to fuck with the laptop. I already got screens and I got keyboards and I got all that other shit. And the Mac Mini to start, right, with 8 gigs of RAM, which is crazy because they did a bunch of these benchmarks and it still performed very well with just 8 gigs of RAM because there's already RAM built in to the motherboard.
The shit with that is like if like you can't ever upgrade unless paying an arm and a leg with them. That's the issue when it comes to like Apple or even Intel's fine, but Apple because everything's gonna be it's closed circuit, closed system.
But when you look at buying a brand new Mac, let's say, right, and the starting price is $699, that's kind of dope, right? I mean, that now gives you entry level to stuff. And what I was looking at it the most, it handles 4K resolution, fantastic.
That's what you want it for anyway.
Right. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to
process and edit video.
I want to render quickly. I want to be able to go through my workspace and my timeline without glitches and gimmicks and all this other stuff. But I was really impressed. Like it's funny that it's been whispered through the computer community, and it really hasn't catched on to Wall Street. But I think that if this thing hits, it's going to revolutionize.
I think right now the only reason why it's not as big as you like. Where you see the potential is that everybody's home.
Right.
So with everybody being home, people are actually building towers or buying towers because they're home. So like laptops are not like laptops. People want to get the cheapest laptop for their kids for school.
Right.
They're not getting MacBook Pros for their kids for school.
No.
You know, those are for teenagers or college kids. You'll probably get MacBook Pro, but most guys are getting towers so they can do schoolwork and then play on it. Like that's what most people are doing right now. That's why all the computer parts are fucking ridiculously expensive.
Well, the one thing that I found really interesting, and then we'll kind of slide out of this, but they're basically if this is a computer, right? This thing, the size, right, and you basically can edit video.
Yep.
Quickly, you can do mad shit on this. Basically, Apple is trying to get that into their computers. Because I was thinking about that the other day. Why the fuck is my phone flying? Yet my computer takes so fucking long to whether it's load up or open a program or run multiple windows within Safari or Chrome or any of that shit. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a huge breakthrough, bro. Because basically now they're trying to integrate all the shit from the phones into the computers. And I think if they do that and they hit that, that's going to be crazy. And then I think that if they start to nail that down, you won't need big towers anymore, right? Because everything's so small. Like once you start making shit like really, really tiny.
One thing I can say is like once you dabble, you like dabble as a tech geek, like into building towers and building computers, like when you physically like kind of do it yourself and accomplish doing it, you appreciate it more and understand doing it more. So like when you build your first computer, be like, oh, this shit came out dope. Like, oh, I got exactly kind of how I wanted it. It takes on a different meaning as opposed to like the casual kind of person who's just gonna buy something because of the brand and just go on with it. That's why like people whoever buys iPhones, like I always compare like iPhone and Samsung is like Samsung is for the more techie people and geeky people, and iPhone is more for like just simple. You want a phone call, text.
Yeah. I don't want to do all that crazy shit, right?
And do nothing crazy. You don't want to open zip files. You don't want to download file. You don't want to do anything crazy. You just keep it simple.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, and that's one thing I think from a user standpoint, not so much a geek standpoint. Apple's been really good at nailing that down. Like you said, if you want to do more, then it's a totally different discussion and an conversation.
Now,
so
talking about.
Go ahead.
Talking about when I was gonna switch gears here. I don't know if you want to stay on the computer.
Yeah, that's exactly what
okay. So talking about complex issues.
Correct.
Now we have this person, Ellen Page.
Right, Elliot Page. Because remember, if you go on Twitter, you can't.
Was dead naming?
Yeah, you can't
dead naming.
Or dead name him. Excuse me, you can't dead name him. So now Elliot Page.
My brain just got a headache. I got a mini headache right there.
So,
I got a mini headache right there. So Elliot Page, formerly known, there we go, as Ellen Page. You see this shit? You see this in chat?
It's difficult. It's difficult.
So now she's a transgender man now, correct? Or transgender masculine? It's like.
So this is the thing that confuses me, right? So if the plumbing is not thing, is you still considered transgender? How do you, when you change the plumbing, is that transsexual?
I don't even think we can use that term anymore. Like no? It's so weird. It has to be transgender.
Oh, okay.
You can't say transsexual.
But I want to know the word and help us out, people, to let us know in the comments. And I'm not trying to clown anybody. This is just very confusing. I'm trying to keep up with the times.
We're trying to be.
What is it if they change the anatomy, right? Like if they get breast, if they're a dude and they go to woman, or if they're woman and they go to male, is it still the same thing? In the sense of the term that you use to qualify them?
It's difficult because it's like. You have a subset, you have the group, and then you have a subset of that group is, all right, today I feel like a woman and now I am a woman. Then, or you got a man or a woman who says, today I am a man and I feel like a man. So that those will get classified under transgender. Then you have the people who say they're transgender and then they get the surgery, or they get half of the surgery, or get only hormone replacements.
Sure.
So,
and then what do you call them? Same thing?
Same thing. They all fall under the same category. But
so transsexual is offensive now?
Transsexual is supposed to be like, saying tranny or anything along those lines. Cool. It's supposedly
got it
in their community.
It's just we're just such in a different world.
That's one thing I could say that Dave Chappelle hit on the head when he did his special. And he's like
the ABC people?
When he says, what if tomorrow LeBron James says, I am a woman? Is he allowed to play in the WNBA?
No. You can't.
Because if he did, he would average 835 points a game.
And I think that's going to become the slippery slope, right? That happens. So then what does that mean? That means you got to start a new league? Because remember, I don't know if you heard the story. Remember that dude, the MMA fighter?
Yeah, he was
smashing chicks.
And he was only smashing because he was stronger than them. But then when he fought a skilled one, he got smoked. When he he lost and got smoked by a chick who was nice. And then people were trying to say that he was always a woman, and it was like, no, he wasn't always a woman. He's born a man, and he feels like a woman. That it's just a slippery slope that I'm having is with that. Is like. Where are we gonna draw the line? Because now you got some of these people or parents who are letting 5-year-olds decide their sex when you don't get, like, your brain isn't fully formed until you're 25, 26 years old. And it's scary because you got people who are just like letting 6-year-olds, boys who say they feel like a girl, become a girl and go through the hormone. We don't know the effects of hormone replacements in a 5-year-old little kid, boy or girl. Like, we don't know what that's going to do to their brain development, muscle development, lungs, or whatever the case may be. We don't know yet because we haven't seen this, and it's a new thing, and it's scary because, like, it for some reason, whatever odd reason, it's hitting women the worst, like little girls and teenage girls the worst. And I have 2 girls.
They want to be boys.
Correct. There's a phenomenon going on now. It was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He had, I forgot the lady's name, and there's an epidemic going. Is an epidemic going on right now where girls are becoming transgender
or with male,
saying but it's like a group of their friends. So they'll say, if 4 of them are saying, all right, we're transgender men, the 5th one is like, all right, I'm gonna join you guys because you're my friends. I don't have any other friends.
It's like a fad type of thing now, potentially.
Correct. And that's the epidemic. It's like an underlying like getting pushed down that doesn't get talked about. And it's like it's a scary thing because it's always hitting girls the worst, like at a higher percentage. Doesn't say it's not happening to boys. It's just that it's happening to females a lot higher because acceptance with social media and all these things that, like, they feel like they have to be involved and be accepted by their peers or their friends or whatever the case may be. And it's just a slippery slope that we don't know what's going to happen. What if tomorrow I say I'm a woman? Do I get a sabbatical for anything? I'm menstruating. Men get menstrual cycles. It's not you're not bleeding, but it's been scientifically proven that men have a day or two where they like kind of menstruating. Do I get time off? Do I get, I don't know, something along those lines?
I mean, they're gonna restructure the whole thing. I think that, and I respect everybody. You know, whatever they want to do, however they want to feel. I think it's fine. I just think that it's dangerous. Like everybody can. What the word I like, and this might be bad to say, but I like the word identify. Meaning, I identify as a woman. I identify as a man. Now, when you start to say I am a man or I am a woman, I think that that's dangerous because atomically and chemically, that's not true.
Exactly.
Right. And I mean, how 100% of those hormones, right? Like if you're a dude and you start taking, let's say, estrogen, I don't know how this thing works, but there's still, your body is not going to stop producing testosterone.
It's going to take a long time before it's over. And you're ready. Your body's already formed to be that.
Right.
Like,
correct. And then the other way, you know, it's the same thing. And I think that women actually haven't really came out and said it. I think the girl who made Harry Potter was the one that got under the hottest fire, because a lot of women are becoming upset because, like, how are you, especially when men become women, right? Like Mrs. Jenner, it's almost like saying, like, dude, you can't have kids. And I think that that's the hugest part of womanhood. And it's kind of like, it was also offensive that they won Woman of the Year.
Correct. So you're saying that a man is better at being a woman than a woman being a woman.
Correct. And I just think, like, it's just starting to get crazy out here in the streets, man. And like I said, I think it's better when you say you identify with it. And again, it would be interesting. Maybe I should get somebody on the show to talk a little bit more about it, and how they feel and how they're smarter in the sense of, like, you know, your own body and things like this. Also, a friend of mine, Uncle Salty, he talks about, you know, potentially, you know, souls being reincarnated, and that could be a reason why people feel that way, right?
Okay.
But then again, you know, where's the data? Where's the information on that? And
that's just a spiritual aspect at the end of the day.
Right, I get that, but I'm saying, like, you know, our numbers have risen so much more in the trans community than it's ever been ever. Like,
I think it's just that it's becoming more accepted now. So the numbers look like, wow. It's just that you can come out and say it now.
Okay.
So as opposed to you,
essentially, we're still there.
Correct.
Because people were afraid or
correct.
Fear of
the stigma, family. You have like you have homeboy from Netflix, the Tiger King, Joe Exotic. He, like, the reason why he's walking the way he's walking with the leg shit on, his legs all fucked up in the cane, is that when he came out telling his pops, yo, I'm gay, he said, his father's like, you're not my son. I disown you.
Okay.
Like, we not family. And homeboy said, I went to go try to kill himself. Crashed his car into a tree or a wall, some crazy shit. He went to go kill himself.
And then survived.
And was like, you know, fuck it. I survived for a reason, and he had a calling, whatever the case may be. But that's just a story that we hear on Netflix, you know, whatever that case may be. But we don't hear other stories of, you have a lot of people who, like, disown their daughters or disown their sons or don't support them, you know, that like back in the day, like even in the last 10 years, people weren't supporting their, you know, gay son or gay daughter, whatever the case may be. And now in the last 5, maybe 7 years, 4 years is becoming more acceptable, you know, more, you know, I don't care what kind of lifestyle you have, as long as you're not killing anybody or hurting anybody or stealing from anybody. Live your life. If you're a man, suck a bunch of dicks. If you're a woman, go eat a bunch of vagina. Do whatever you want to do, or however the case may be. As long as you're not hurting nobody, stealing, whatever case, have a good life, enjoy, and be happy. But just when you start doing policies where, like, if a woman becomes a man and now she's saying, well, all men should get vasectomies, or all men shouldn't get prostate cancer checks until they're 75, like, changing policies for those things it's a scary thing. So when a man becomes a woman and then they try to talk on reproductive rights or anything women rights, it's just a weird thing because you're thrusting yourself into something that you aren't naturally, and it's scary.
Yeah, and I think to tie it all up, what I was saying was, I think with potentially Elliot coming out, we're gonna see a lot more of this, and there's probably going to be a rise of it. And this is, I mean, she's potentially not. I'm not going to say she's not a superstar, but she is. I mean, she was in Inception, right? So I mean,
she's like a B minus star, C plus movie star.
Yeah, I mean, for a minute she was hot. Do you ever watch the movie Juno?
Yeah, that was a dope movie. Right. She got like 5, 6 movies.
I think she was borderlining A, and then the moment she came out as gay, I think some of these companies probably try to stay away from it.
Maybe, and then she probably had she probably had some views that didn't align with other people. But now, like, I'm pretty sure if you go to social media, you're gonna have thousands and thousands of people, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe saying, "Hey, good for you for coming out." Blah 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 blah. But let's say if she goes tomorrow and she kills herself, or he kills himself, because transgenders still have a 40% suicide, whether you transition or you don't transition, of suicide. They have one of the worst, highest suicide rates.
Whatever it is.
If you stay as a man, if you say you're a man and you become a woman and you change everything, you still have at a high rate, 40%. So it's a scary thing.
Yeah, this is definitely a hot button topic, and I think it's definitely bigger than. I mean, imagine this. 40 years ago, you never would have thought that it would have been a unisex restroom. But it's unisex in Europe, right? And so they don't even care. Like the Europeans have probably been
they already passed it,
more progressive in that regard than we have. But it's a brand new world, man, and it doesn't seem like we're short of storylines for this year to see things just continue to evolve in ways we never anticipated. And this is one of the first big names that has transitioned like this. I think, man, I forget what the last name is, but. What is the you remember Scream, right? Remember the cop Dewey? You know Dewey's real name?
You talking about Screech, Diamond Dallas, or Diamond?
No, not him. No. Scream, like not Screech. Scream the movie, the horror movie.
Okay.
Remember the cop Dewey?
Okay. Arquette. Isn't something Arquette?
So there's been a trans woman in the Arquette family, and I feel like they were a trailblazer before any of this stuff was out, and they didn't get as much as the fame. I wonder how much of this also is geared to, like, getting more recognition. And
we don't know. That's the scary part.
In the spotlight.
That's the scary part. And talk about new worlds.
Right.
You're in Cali.
Yeah.
You're in Cali, Russia, as I coined the phrase now.
Yeah. Mother Cali.
And and it's to speak on it from your perspective, from what I'm reading is crazy.
This is bananas. So I don't know where we lost it. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was a lot more educated on the process because there was nothing to do March, April, May. So all I did was read. I backed away and I started to do a focus more on the show and all this other stuff. But, in the beginning, we were really considering herd immunity. And I just feel like now it's not even a discussion. And I get it. Like, I think, what was it, yesterday or the day before, we reached like 2,600 deaths. But the rate of infection was a much higher. And, I mean, I'm going to get shit for this, I'm sure. But we're at potentially 1%, at least in the United States, of deaths, right? Like,
not even.
A month ago, we were 250,000. I
still don't think that's still not even
40 million in America. That's still not 1%.
Remember, in order for it to be 1%, you needed to be, I think.
So basically, I think
3 million.
Okay, right.
Because it's 330 million people in the United States.
Right. I don't know, man. So we're shutting things down. Mom and pop is fucking gone. Amazon, it's weird that he was like perfectly positioned for this play, which I find strange because I never think, and nothing goes together that smoothly because I know life.
We need 3.3 million deaths in order to hit 1%.
Okay, so we're gonna get close because we're gonna start hitting 300 soon. But
no, 3.3 million.
No, I get you. I know we're gonna be close to 1 million soon, is what I'm saying. But we're still at that point.
But here's the issue with that is like the data on that is not even real too, because it's like, how many of those COVID deaths are really COVID deaths?
Right.
And how many are deaths that are reported something else, really COVID deaths?
Right. Like vice versa. All of a sudden they went from, you got hit by a bus, you had COVID, you got COVID, and then now if you get COVID, you got hit by a bus, so now you got hit by a bus.
It's
right?
so
Like the numbers are
stupid.
just fucked up, and the government is leading this charge by potentially incentivizing hospitals
Yeah,
for either not to say it or to say it. In the
and then
beginning,
did you see did you see what the Red Cross did? CDC did. Now supposedly last year they took blood samples from people who donated blood from like November, December of last year. And they have antibodies for COVID. So it's already been in the United States.
Wow. Before all of this shit popped up.
Before
it makes sense.
all the shit.
I mean, I don't know what was like, I'm not a scientist. It's just so crazy, excuse me, to think about like the fluidity of this situation happening so quickly, right? Because it was like mid-Jan and then motherfuckers were just dying in China. And then it came over here and then it just looked like it swept the nation. Now, I don't know if that was a tendency of, negligence, malpractice, us not knowing how to handle the
I just think it's just not knowing. You're not knowing anything.
Being kicked in the dick because no one's used to, a hospital's barely at capacity normally, right?
Yep.
And then now you're beyond capacity, you're overworked. You got people that, are used to working fireman shifts, but now they got to work 7 days in a row with no rest. They're nodding off. I mean, how many videos we've seen of people nodding off?
Yep. And they got the people who are like, oh, I got a cough, I have COVID, who didn't really have COVID, and they got COVID because they were waiting in the waiting room with people who really had COVID. So
I'll tell you this, man, it made me scared because I got sick, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of this year, and I was sweating, and I was like, that's it, I'm dying. That's it, it's done. Got it. It's over. But
if you read the media, that's how they had you scared and thinking.
Like, oh, if I got a cold, I was like fucking freaking out.
Exactly.
And so now I think this is what I think. I think that with Newsom doing this, he might change the complexion of California because you got all of these big wigs people, all of this money leaving.
Yep. They were already doing shady shit, like not shady, but like weird, dumb shit prior to even the COVID stuff. They were like making companies now, like by next year or the year after, forcing companies to have 2 women on the board, then having a certain percentage of minority on the board. Like you can't force people to do, like you can't have people do that to their company. Like you can't force people to do that. Like put people on boards, like just because they're women or just because they're Hispanic or just because they're black. That's not how that works.
Well, I mean, that you can argue that's part of affirmative action, though, because that seems to be more.
Yes and no, but you're forcing them to put people on the boards, like to have board seats. Like that's a totally different thing. That those people who probably aren't qualified are gonna get those seats just because of their women, their gender, or the minority. I think it's like us. Let's say if you and me started a company, we're Hispanics, and I want my whole shit to be Hispanics because I know my Hispanic culture. And then we're gonna throw a couple of black people in there, sprinkle a couple of white people in there, but it's 95% Hispanic and black. And if we was in California, they would say, oh, well, you have to have 3 white people on your board. And then you have to have 3 Asian people on your board.
What was the other crazy thing that he said? I forgot. He said something radical. I think it was like taxes but
they want a retroactive taxes. So like they're going to raise taxes. They want to raise taxes from, let's say, June or July, but then retroactive those taxes to start from the beginning of the year. That's what they wanted to do or planning to do. I don't know how that's going right now. And then they fucked up by like doing the whole gig economy shit. They passed a law where like you could only work for one company if you're a consultant. So if you were to do a consultant fee for ESPN, you can only work for ESPN, and then ESPN had to give you health insurance. So now they have to pay insurance for you as opposed to now me as a freelancer. I could work for ESPN, Fox, Yahoo Sports, The Ringer, Barstool Sports, whatever the case may be. You can't do that if you're in California anymore.
I guess I'm gonna be leaving soon, bro. This is terrible.
It's ridiculous.
So I think the biggest part is gonna be this is gonna be a ridiculous boom in poverty. I think a lot of people are gonna get broken by this. I think that we're already losing. I mean, they're closing nail salons, beauty salons.
So they're going back to like lockdown, right? Like it's like
yes,
day one kind of shit. Like
correct. because we've been in the purple tier the whole time. But I also think too, I mean, and you tell me what you think. I feel like, and we talked about this, I think, a little bit. If people would have just like committed to the lockdown hardcore in the jump, we probably would have been able to demolish this shit.
I think
doing it because we kind of did it. Then we opened up some stuff a little bit.
I think
we kind of got early COVID fatigue, and then motherfuckers started partying like nobody's business.
But what happened was too is the whole George Floyd thing happened as well.
That shit set motherfuckers off.
So like things was trailing down, and then that happened, and then went back up.
But one can argue, right? Our numbers didn't go astronomical with all of those fucking protests.
No, it went up. It just that it was just that again. COVID took like a backseat to the whole George Floyd shit. Black Lives Matter took over the media cycle. The media just started, dick sucking BLM. Then you had all these companies,
the riots.
Then you had the riots, exactly. Then you had all these companies, these bum ass, fucking dumbass Fortune 500 companies are dick sucking BLM when you don't even give a fuck about that. You just was showing your face.
I know. I think
you had a lot of like storylines that push COVID down, and they would say, "Oh, yeah, the number spiked," but then start talking about something else. So like the segues would go to different directions. So it's like it's tough to say. Like again, I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. If you're a high risk, stay your ass home. Like I went to the supermarket yesterday to get a few things. And I seen a lot of old people.
I thought you weren't even going to the supermarket anymore.
No, guys, my girl wanted something to pick up real quick, so I was already out. So I went, I picked up. It was in and out. But like when I went inside, you had a lot of old people in there. Then with their like, I guess their either grandson or their daughter or their whoever they were somebody. Like why are they here? Like you clearly don't give a fuck about your grandmother or your mom who's older or your dad who's older. You should be doing the shopping for them. If they need to go on a walk, all right, Ma, let's go walk around the block. Let's walk outside. But don't bring them to a place where there's a lot of people and they are high risk. I think that's they always bring this up. The 1918, the Spanish flu.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Sorry, not the backpack.
It killed 50 million people worldwide.
Okay.
The economy never shut down. There was no shutdown. There was no mandatory mask. There was encouraged. You did it to protect yourself. You did it to protect your family. You did it to protect others. I think it's a responsibility that you hold to yourself to, protect the people around you. I don't think that the government should tell you what to do, or even like certain establishments to tell you what to do. If certain establishments say, "Hey, we're not going to service you because you don't have a mask on," then you're not going to get my money. But we as people have to be individually in charge of ourselves and our family, who we touch. And I think people aren't doing that. People are over exaggerating things and nothing else is getting talked about. And it's just sad to see because nobody's like suicide rate is up. Child abuse is up.
Domestic violence.
Everything is up.
Well, this is what pisses me off. Like whether you agree with Trump's politics or not, I can't believe that our safety and our position to make money in this country took a standstill so that we could figure out who's going to win a presidency. Right?
Yep.
Like, the fact that Nancy Pelosi and Munchak have not fucking cut a deal, people are dying, bro. People are, and I mean that also metaphorically too, because bro, people can't buy groceries, people can't pay their rent. Like, where ya at? Like, I know that we're not supposed to be like printing money and giving out handouts and all this other shit, but how about all these other big corporations? They got billions of dollars.
The fact that they did any stimulus packages and gave it to any companies, period, is
a joke.
It was a joke.
Yeah, totally. Well, I don't want to get our fan base too depressed because now I'm starting to get depressed. Let's get some comedy back onto the show.
For sure.
Did you watch it on YouTube? How did you, by the way, thank you for YouTube for always
supporting us.
Not only supporting us, but allowing me to see things because I was not paying for that fight.
Oh, the Roy Jones.
Did you watch Roy Jones and Tyson? Get at it.
I saw little by little, had it on my other screen when I was playing. And it you could tell they both were not going as hard because I thought they did. They were like, all right, we're not gonna hurt each other, kind of thing. There was a couple of
rules were also like set for them not to hurt each other.
Yeah,
too, right?
and you could. There's a few times I thought Tyson. You could tell he was like, yo, I wanted to let off on his hook.
Yeah, he looks like he could have rocked home.
And he was like, I'm gonna hold back. So it looked like a celebrity exhibition fight, whatever the case may be.
How do you know off the top of your head how old is Tyson?
52 or 53.
He looked great, bro, for a 57-year-old dude. Fuck.
Yep.
Even Roy looked
Roy looked good too. Yeah, they both look good.
I wish they let it be a little bit more because I feel like those dudes they could have handled it.
But who knows, man? One shot to the temple.
Those guys are trained professionals.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like I don't know because they both. I know more Roy Jones than Tyson.
Correct. That's what we grew up with. Yes.
Has taken more hits.
Who Tyson has or Roy?
No, Roy.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is like. Remember his last fight, he was knocked out seeing birds. Roy Jones, his shit snapped back and hit the canvas. So
who was that? You know who fought him?
I don't remember who fought him, but he got laid out, and we don't know the effects of that yet. I don't know him. Obviously, we don't know him personally, so I don't know if if he gets his favorite color.
Nah, he was doing. I mean, for the most part, wasn't he doing like color commentary for the?
Yeah, but I'm saying we don't know yet. Like with another hit, I'm saying you don't know the next hit. Like even like right now, let's say if we got up and we tripped and banged our head on the thing. We're young, but we don't know how that's gonna affect us in the long term. So it's a little crazy, but. It was two old people fighting.
I guess it was worth the price of admission.
Well, you had Jake Paul knock Nate Robinson the fuck out.
What is going down? First of all, how in the fuck does Nate Robinson switch gears like that? And what is this, like the old UFC? Isn't Nate Robinson like 5 feet and Jake is like at least 6?
It was crazy, but I didn't went by weight. Normally, if you go by weight, that's how it normally works out. But that's crazy,
embarrassing, bro. I would have never did that. I would have never signed that fucking deal. Like, is he?
I think he got paid like $700,000 or something like that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But now he's a meme.
And I haven't even seen the memes. I've been off of social.
Oh my god, they're all hilarious.
I gotta look it up.
They're all jokes.
So did you watch that fight?
I saw a little bit of that fight too. Like I said, I had it on my other screen.
What did Jake look like?
He looked like he was somebody who's been training for boxing.
Okay.
He looked like, he looked better than Nate.
He like a social influencer? Or
he's a YouTuber and stuff like that. And he supposedly he wanted to do fighting, and it looked like he was a better fighter.
Yeah, I seen a couple of videos of him doing like BJJ, and he looked pretty sharp. And I mean, good for him. Yep. I don't know what the future lies ahead in the celebrity, deathmatch area, but that's a trip.
True.
What a fight! What a card! I mean, is that what we're gonna head to now?
Probably.
It's gonna be like the MTV celebrity death matches.
They're gonna need what the federal government is trying to do right now and decriminalize marijuana.
Right. That's a trip, bro. If that passes, that's gonna be nuts. Because we talked, I think, the last episode or the episode before about what was it? Not Washington. What's the state of Portland?
Oregon
decriminalized all drugs.
Yep.
All drugs, right? And not only that, I potentially read that if they decriminalize it, they're thinking about letting dudes out of jail that were like on these charges on
non-drug offense.
Non-violent, yeah.
Which should be fine. Like,
this is what we need to do. If we're talking about being progressive, and Ellen can turn into Elliot, then fuck, guys, we need to be starting rethinking this because we're spending way too much fucking money, not only incarcerating people. I mean, there's profit in that, but I think I did a special a while back. I got to get it back on the air, but I think that the government spends $1 trillion a year, or they were up past $1 trillion. I forget what the numbers were, but they just spend so much money on drugs, and it's for nothing. The drugs still come in the country. Yep. Like literally at this point, they're just trying to keep jobs, right? And in the real world, if you suck, you get fired.
Yep.
So DEA, you're fired. You guys did a piss poor job. I mean, I forgot what the numbers were, but like, let's say they as a U.S. collectively, they stop about like 5 kilos of coke coming into the country. Now that number might be inaccurate, but it was a low amount versus how much more comes in.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
definitely more comes in than come. And then there was like a couple of a while ago they were saying like how like the Mexican cartels were growing shit in the middle of national forests.
Shit.
So they don't have to worry about it being seized at the borders.
Ooh, so they were already planting here.
They were already in the middle of Yellowstone Park, just growing bud and growing whatever in the middle.
What do you think? You think if you, let's say, decriminalize for sure, and let's pretend you legalize it, do you think that stops the cartels from fucking making money? Because that seems to be the argument. If we,
they would definitely take a blow, a heavy blow, and then they would just have to shift gears to something else.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, these guys have been around making money for
but
years.
it would be a big blow because like people don't have to be scared to go get bud anymore or go get crack anymore or go get heroin. You know, they'll do it safely. And then when you're going to buy it, say if they do it like kind of at a clinic, hey, I want to get some crack. All right, before we give you this crack, let's just do a quick mental rundown. How's your life? Are you working? Or you're not working? By the way, we have some brochures that we can get you to a job. Blah, 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 blah. You have a family? Your family taking care of you? Hey, we also have this program. Blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. You still want some crack? Here you go. Here's your brochures. And you go on from there.
I also think it would be interesting too, because now like the marijuana, you're gonna probably get the best crack money could buy, right? Because you're gonna have individual companies trying to process and make. Like that's
and you're gonna let these guys or people individually, like if we want to buy a farm and we want to grow bud and we want to sell it and we got to go through the FDA approval, whatever the process is gonna be, and we grow some fire shit. It could be kind of like an independent thing because it's a flower. It's an herb. It grows in the ground, you know? So it's going to be tough, you know, once it starts really, really making money and picking up, how the government, you know, gets shady with...
Yeah, my peeps, shout out to JR and Robin. We were talking yesterday, and he was saying already how, like, you know, a lot of these tobacco companies are already in the weed industry.
Yeah, of course.
That when it does happen, they're already, you know, like Newport is going to be different now, and Marlboro is going to be different. I mean, I think it's smart. So then this is the other thing that made me start like raising my ears a little bit. The NBA announces they're not going to randomly test for marijuana 2021, I think, and 2022 or 20. I forget what the two numbers were. Hold on.
Whatever it is, they shouldn't test for it anyway.
Right. What the fuck does it matter? I mean, I'm $1 million athlete. Whatever. I mean, as long as
I could see.
I could enhancing.
No, I don't think.
Totally. You could totally enhance.
Well, you can, for sure. I was gonna say you could because you could get into the zone quicker or whatever, focus more, whatever the case may be.
More so for like muscle recovery.
That too.
I've been to the gym and I got my ass whipped. I can't move, and then I smoke a little bud, and I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
For where it takes someone.
But they have the now CBD oils, CBD creams. They have all that now. But to me, that's still performing enhancing because you're enhancing your performance. Right. But it's just whatever people want to declare it as. But it should have been. It should have been like that. NFL needs to be next. Like all sports need to do this shit already. You know, like you get the people who abuse it. You get them out of your league, you know, like who drive on it or whatever the case may be. Most people don't drive when they're high anyway. Like you mostly smoke when you get home. You're relaxing, you're eating, you're watching a movie, you're chilling at somebody's crib. Chill. Like it's not like alcohol where you fucking people get in their cars and they kill people at a high rate. And I remember they were trying to make that case in Colorado.
That's right, because vehicular manslaughter went up.
But the reason why it went up is because everybody moved there. So the population grew. If you have a town with 100,000 people and then over the next 3 months is at 2 million people, shit is going to happen. It's just like when they try to say you have most of your car accidents are like 5 miles from your house. No shit. You're leaving from your house and you're coming home to your house. Like you're gonna mostly get those accidents in that area because you're predominantly in that area. So like that shit happens.
Like a no-brainer stat. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah,
stat.
It's like that's gonna happen. So it's like, oh, I could guarantee you any amount of money. The first 7 months of this year, car crashes are down. I wonder why. Like it's those things that people try to use those stats to their advantage. and try to BS. So like, yeah, people were crashing more when they got high in Colorado, but we're not talking about all the people who moved from Cali, from New York, from the surrounding states, who was like, yo, I'm out to Colorado. That shit was, we got little Colorado Springs, 10,000 people. Oh shit, what the fuck? Why we got 150,000 people here now all of a sudden? Why are there 19 weed shops in the same block? So like,
and now with everybody getting kicked out of Mother Cali, they all headed back up there too.
They're Oregon now, since everything's legal. People going fleeing to Texas. So it's a lot of things. So like if Texas, like when Texas was blue in the beginning of the election, I was like, oh shit. The people from California who just moved to Texas, and if they voted in time and registered in time, they voted, blue, that would have been crazy. But who's not to say in the next election, or the people who moved from Cali to Texas are not going to vote blue. So it's a little strange. And
speaking about voting, because I think we kind of passed over this, and it kind of plays into everything that we're talking about. Is Trump fucking shit up by not just telling motherfuckers he lost? Because there's nothing. I mean, he's not gonna win.
It's always been his MO. So like him not fighting, would it be on brand?
Got it. That makes sense.
So like he's always fought. He's always sued people. He's always done this thing, and I think he's showing, because he can still run again. He could run in 2024.
Only because he hasn't done
exactly.
Gotcha.
So he could run again in 2024. So maybe he's showing, hey guys, look, I'm fighting his base here. I'm trying to fight as hard as I can, because I do agree with you with some bullshit going on. And if they say in the next 4 years shit goes south or stays the same, he comes to 2024 like, I'm back, bitches. I told y'all.
Right.
We're not fucking with these motherfuckers.
Do you think it was bad in his message to tell people to go in and vote versus doing the mail-in shit?
Yeah, I think it did. I think that was his downfall.
Right?
But he was trying to play to his base and say, hey guys, come out, make sure you come out and vote. So there's no bullshit fraud coming from our side of the aisle. There can't be no bullshit fraud. But you're telling people to do that in the middle of a pandemic. And that's where you fucked up and your base fucked up. Or whoever was advising you.
Whoever was in charge, that guy gotta get fired for sure.
Yep. Well, they gotta. I don't know why we can't vote online. It's the dumbest thing to me in the entire planet.
Especially with all of this stuff with COVID, they should have had everybody mailing in votes or voting through a computer or voting somehow that didn't have to get people to go physically into a building. I mean, that's a concept that I would say is foregone. We have. I mean, I could literally get, like you said, you could literally get groceries. From
anything you want on your phone, anything. Yeah. You could make millions of dollars of transactions on your phone.
Over here, I don't know how it is over there, but 7-Eleven delivers here, and they deliver booze, and they deliver tobacco.
See,
right? Plus Amazon delivers, plus all of these, Shopcart or Instacart, whatever.
And you could bank online and
right. You could trade stocks fucking online, bro. I mean, you could buy
cryptocurrency online. Everything you could do online.
I think you could buy people online. Everything you could do
probably
online,
with a scandal of Wayfair when they had that going on.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I thought one of the things that was interesting during this whole thing is that they're trying to push us to get to that, but I also felt like there was a ball that was dropped a little bit because of they didn't push the voting thing, because that's like one of the last things left. And
it's like it was just sketchy because like they were like, I don't know, when you have either side trying to force making sure somebody loses, it's just a sketchy thing for me to see, and I have to look at the ladder on the other side. Like, why do you guys want Trump to lose so bad, huh? Like, why you guys are going to these deep lengths to make sure this guy looks as bad as possible. Even when Obama was running, they tried to they said as soon as Obama got elected, all right, we not passing shit.
Right.
Like
that was G shit. Yeah, I know.
Why don't you want the country to do better, regardless of who gets elected?
Because that's the thing. They don't.
They don't. They want the people to win. They just want their side to win, the other side to lose.
Their side to go in.
That's
it.
They
don't give a fuck about,
That's why they need to get rid of parties.
Yeah, I would say maybe the Dems are a little bit more forward, because I think something that came out through the Obama camp is that they were saying that they were very upset at Trump because they said that Barack and Michelle were very forthcoming in walking him through the processes of the White House. Like,
because
hey,
they respected the office. Also.
Hey, this is where you're at. This is how you probably,
But fuck the Democrats too, because they fucking cheated Bernie out the fucking seat two years in a row. So they could suck a fat dick too.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't seem like, the Republicans are so forthright when Democrats coming in, right? Like, it seems like the Dems, at least when they're in office, they're like, hey, this is where you use the bathroom. They give you the tour. They give you the tour like you got an Airbnb and shit. And
well, George Bush did it, he didn't probably do the same as Barack, but
we don't know too, because apparently, I mean, no. I think Bush did.
Bush was nice about it.
Yeah, he was nice about it.
But what I'm saying is, like,
but Bush was
one side of the aisle can't complain about the other side of the aisle. When one side of you're doing some shady dickhead shit, like, you can't do that. Like, Nancy Pelosi's worth $100 million houseway when you're supposed to be making $150,000 a year.
She got all the ice cream too in her fucking.
Exactly. Like, come on, cut the shit. Why is she still the leader? She's old.
Well, I think that I'm surprised, and this is the thing, that it's not built this way. But I'm really surprised that they haven't had term limitations, because they needed to.
And why are senators getting money for life? Like, why?
Right.
No, suck a dick.
I should have been a senator. I fucked up.
It's crazy.
So some more shit. Damn, I don't know why.
All right, let's stay on the weed topic. The NBA. We're saying that
we're talking about that, but let's go. So, big deal. John Wall gets traded. I don't think it was straight up, but John Wall.
It was John Wall for Westbrook and a first round pick. If I'm not mistaken. No, it was John Wall and a first round pick for Westbrook. That's what it was.
Good play. Who wins out of this?
I don't know. They both.
John Wall he has a lot of potential, but I don't even think he's ever fucking like touched the surface.
The thing with John Wall, he's not a shooter, so like he's still an 18 and 10 guy, 19 and 10 guy. Just can't shoot. He's like, he can shoot better than Westbrook, but who knows what they're gonna do? I don't know if they're gonna trade James Harden. I don't know how the offense is gonna run with, like, is James gonna say, all right, I'm gonna do some backdoor cuts. I'm gonna shoot off the dribble. I'm gonna spot up in the corner. I'm gonna do some different things.
When you talk about scoring without the ball, is John Wall a qualifier of that?
Well, he's a point guard, so he's the one who's setting up everybody else to do it. Makes sense. I don't know how that's gonna work. And then Westbrook is going to this young team with Bradley Beal, where Bradley Beal's a stud, but they just weren't winning. But, like, how's that going to work now? Because Bradley Beal was the man. I don't know. Westbrook has a strong personality. And Westbrook, ran KD out of town. And KD's way more talented than Bradley Beal. So who's not to say that Bradley Beal's like, yo, I'm out. If Westbrook's on some shit, because I think his deal's coming up. And I don't know. I think for right now, it looks like it's just an even trade. I think Westbrook probably will cook in the East, because the East is trash.
Asura.
And I don't see it that big of an impact for anybody.
It brings more eyeballs to DC.
Maybe because of Westbrook's antics and the mean mugging and probably triple double, and maybe again it might be dissension with him and Bradley Beal, but they have a nice young core on the Wizards. So like, you bring in a vet who was bumping heads with James Harden and bumping heads with Kevin Durant. Who's to say that he's not going to bump heads with this young core?
I can't believe that such a talented player has had such a hard time finding a home.
The thing is, his decision making has been horrible.
Right, but he also could score like nobody's business.
But he can't shoot.
Right.
That's his issue. He shoots under 30% from the 3-point line. Like, that's bad. The jump shot is poopy too. And he's not he could score, but he's not a great finisher at the rim either. Like, it's really crazy, because he'll go 7 for 29, have 30 points in a triple double. He'll get fouled a lot, but it's like, at crucial times, your team will be up 11 points with the last 4 minutes in the game, and you'll lose the game somehow because you're bad decision making.
That's terrible.
So I don't see it.
I feel like both teams lost, because Wall is mediocre, and apparently Westbrook is on a downward decline.
For sure.
All right, so staying with the NBA, LeBron James signs a mega deal for, it's so funny when you look at the numbers. He signs like a crazy deal just for 2 years, and then homeboy signs the 5-year deal, and it's almost the same amount of money.
Yep. Well, I think he's doing that. All right, so he's doing that because I think he's reached a part of his career where it's like, yo, I have enough bread.
Okay. So basically gives me an opportunity to sign other dudes.
Correct. So he took a little bit of a discount, not a lot. It's like a little discount. You sign AD, get him under the cap, you get all the other pieces around you to fit, sign under the cap, and let's say within a year or two, he can still play point guard. So it doesn't even matter.
Right.
In 2 years, he could go. Whoever becomes a free agent. Let's say Klay Thompson becomes a free agent, and we'll say, "Yo, I'm gonna go to the Lakers." You could fit him under the cap. He's not locked in long term for 5 years, whatever certain amount of money, and then you strap the salary cap for your team. And then another thing where I think he's doing too is setting himself up is seeing where his son goes and how much his son progresses. And if it's
how old is his boy?
His son is, I think his son he has 2 boys, but the one is like a teenager, and the other one is about to be a teenager, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So one is, I think he just turned 15, and he already looks like he's like 6'4", 6'5". Like, he took a picture with his pops, and he looked like a little bit shorter than his pops. Like, and
really? So he had already the growth sprout.
Yeah, like, and he's still not done. He's still young. So he might be another 6'9" kid. And I think LeBron is just like, yo, I'm going to set this up where I could play with my son eventually whenever he comes into the league. If his body's willing to hold up and nothing, drastic happens.
Fine, bro, he should be fine. And then now I think it was as controversial as you might say, whatever about LA. I thought it was great to get a guy like AD because now you can rest LeBron, right? Like, a big part of LeBron's game is that he had to play 40 minutes every fucking game, right? Because he was on, to use your term, he was on poopy teams.
Yep.
Bunch of fucking potatoes running around. But now when you got him with like a stacked squad, maybe homeboy plays 30 minutes a game. Yep. And that 10 minutes over 2 years,
it stacks up in his favor.
It's a lot, right? And then he's probably not going to play in the Olympics again.
Nope.
He's going to probably cruise control a little bit more. Right, and I mean,
he'll probably play less games too. Just chill.
Yeah, because gonna be resting him. Yeah,
take nights off.
Then, I don't know. I think they signed a couple cats, but if like you said, in a year or two, if they could get a sick free agent, that's less shit he has to play, and then just be a monster in the fourth quarter, or take off in the first quarter and then be like, I'm good. I just scored 40. We're up 10.
Yep.
Don't lose the fucking thing, and if we lose it, I'll come off the bench.
And I'm gonna relax from here on out. So it's I think they're playing chess over there.
By the way, shout out to because we're talking about trends and social economics and all this other stuff. Shout out to Jeannie Buss. She has done a phenomenal job with not only landing LeBron but also bringing a title back to LA. Being everybody
firing her brother.
That was the best shit ever.
Yep.
But being in a world full of men and winning, is dope. And we just got our first, I think, GM in MLB.
Yep, that's gonna be dope.
Nobody talks about the female owner who's been dominating. Like, I talked to a couple cats and I was like, "That's Jeannie Buss," and they're like, "Who?" I'm like, "Get out of here. You can't talk to me."
Well, most guys don't even know owners to begin with, but she should be known because she's a woman.
You can't tell me you're a sports fan, bro.
Yeah, don't know Jeannie Buss.
Bro, it's like saying you don't know Steinbrenner's Yankee. Like,
exactly.
It's kind of the same fucking thing.
Just true.
So shout out to her and kudos to her for showing that women can be leaders and can dominate in male dominant.
It's just the United States is just still behind. There's been like over 30 to 80 countries that have female leaders. Right. It's just here in the United States we're just fucking idiots.
The rich old white boys don't want to let it go, bro.
Exactly.
They don't want to let it go.
But we'll hopefully little by little.
I think it's a beginning.
That grasp.
Like I said, I think she should have been celebrated more, in my opinion. I don't know why she's not woman of the year or on the cover of ESPN or.
Well, if she becomes a man, then she could possibly be man of the year.
That's all it is. There you go. That's how the shit works. That's how the shit works. Ain't that some fucked up shit?
Oh my god! All right, staying on topic. We got the Clippers.
So a story comes out from Clipperland saying that Kawhi Leonard and what's the other big man that they got there?
Paul George.
Poor George was receiving special treatment the whole entire time for the season, which led potentially to the collapse of the clip in the playoffs.
I say in the words or the person of Kawhi, he had the right to kind of do whatever he wanted.
He had like a, what do they call that when you get
The cachet? Yes?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Like he
had
had
like a free pass.
He
had
won
won
the chip.
Yeah.
He could have won anywhere. He chose the Clippers. And like, I'm sorry, Patrick Beverly, you're not on his level. Lou Williams, you're not on his level. Montrezl Harrell, you're not on his level. Like, take a deep breath, relax. Like, no, fam. Like, no. Like, you're not on their level. Now, poor George, on the other hand, is like, you've had a lot of playoff blunders, my guy. Like, you should have been there every practice. You should have been the vocal leader that Kawhi wasn't. You should, had everybody together, build the camaraderie. You should have been that part of the tandem of you and Kawhi. And you wasn't. You were hitting the side of backboards in the playoffs. Like, like you were trying to call people out, but you're playing bad. So you can't do that when you're calling people out and then you're playing like shit. It's not how this works. You have to be mindful. Like, all right, I'm playing like shit. Yo, guys, my fault. I'm gonna make it up on a defensive end, whatever the case may be. And that's not how it happened. And I just felt like
surprising. It was very surprising.
Well, here's another thing that nobody really talks about, and it's kind of irks me as a sports fan. Like, it wasn't a regular season. It was a pandemic. Right. Mm-hmm. People in a bubble. You see your teammates every fucking day. Even on your off day, you were seeing your teammates, kind of thing. As opposed, regular season. All right, I'm gonna go home. I get to see my kids. I get to see my girl. Plane flights. I'm gonna see my aunt in Texas when I land to play Dallas. Like, you were in a bubble, and like people were trying to compare like the bubble to the regular season, and I think it's two totally different things. And it should have never been. One, it should have never been played. That's the first thing. And two, it shouldn't be compared, because you take away the traveling, the leaving at 12 o'clock midnight, landing in another city at 4 o'clock in the morning. Your body's fatigued. You're mentally fatigued. That all takes into account. There's no crowd noise. Like, people heckling you mentally in your head. Poor George, you suck. Kawhi, you suck. You doing the laugh. They were doing the laugh. His Kawhi laugh in the Toronto. Like, all that plays a factor into what was going on. And then the teams that were rolling in the regular season, the Bucks were on a fucking roll. The Clippers were 14-1. They were on a roll. Like, everybody was hot, and then stop. Right. And then you got people who didn't even want to be there. You had a lot of them who didn't even want to be there. So
I also think too, we talk about it too, a lot of these guys are used to their style of repetition, right? So like if like you were saying, if they travel to Texas and they're used to seeing their mama, and that kind of gives them a little bit of a lift, and they do that every time they hit Houston and they got another spot they hit
exactly.
Now you take all of that away.
And like it's also too like the Tiger Woods shit. Like, Tiger Woods was a beast when he was fucking 50 women. He was on some I'm fucking everything, and I'm winning masters and tournaments. Right. And then you took that away from him, and now he looks like shit. Average. But now who's to say that, Kawhi was against some shit in Toronto or against some shit in Connecticut or whatever the case may be, where these guys needed a stress relief outlet where you couldn't get women to come in to the bubble.
Except for that dude in Seattle.
And then he got there.
Never playing down in the NFL again.
Fucking idiot. But it wasn't a normal season, and I think that people overreacted to it, and that team overreacted to it. I think everybody didn't put into hindsight and perspective that this was not a normal thing that we were dealing with. The whole there's never been a time in the last 50 years where the entire world had to shift the way of living.
So speaking of that, right? And how much difficult. So the NFL is not being played in a bubble, but there are no fans, which I think is an element that's important because either some people get hype on the booze or some people get depressed on the booze.
Yep.
What's going on with Lamar Jackson? Besides him catching COVID and the Ravens catching COVID, and John Harbaugh was one of the first people when they decided to have the NFL season. He was one of the first complainers saying that the regulations just didn't make sense and some of the mandates didn't make sense. And this is a team that apparently, I mean, we had our first Wednesday night game. I don't even know how long it's been since the NFL. They probably don't have it often, but now.
Here's the issue. The only thing I have issue with that when it comes to John Harbaugh. So why isn't all 32 teams dealing with the same thing?
But some could, and they're just not vocal. I think John Harbaugh is on a different side of things because
no, I'm saying not him not being not them being vocal, but why aren't other teams having this? Why aren't all the teams all the time having mass outbreaks? Is what I'm trying to say.
Something's going on.
You understand what I'm saying?
So you let your best player catch it, and then I don't know how did that all transpire to other staffers having it, or let alone a staffer had it and probably gave it to Lamar. I mean, this is going to suck. Basically, the Ravens are done at this point.
So it's tough. It's tough. They didn't look like the team that they were last year. This film now. There's no crowd noise, but this is another element. You could hear the play calls kind of thing. Like it's fucking silent in the middle of the field. You can hear them calling, like 52 in the middle left, shift right, the line, whatever the case may be. Like you can hear it clearly. Yeah, so that's a different element of the game, as opposed to what people 60,000 people screaming at the top of their lungs. And the defense can't hear shit, can't hear defensive calls, or offense can't hear, calls. And they're like, what the fuck? I can't hear shit. And
I know, I remember those days. You got to fucking put in the hands over there.
Yeah, like, what you said, huh? I was like, yeah, I got you. Perfect. It's not like that anymore. And I just think, like, even his issue last year was he couldn't throw outside the numbers.
But I also think I started watching more games when you said that. I think he can't throw out the numbers. I just think that they're not just drawing it up.
That too, but like
because
it will be a crossing route, catch over the middle, and then run to the outside. I'm talking about streaking up the field. Yes,
that's what I'm talking about.
He'll throw it, but there won't be a lot of catches. That's why Marquise Brown was like, "Yo, this is bullshit."
Oh, he came out already and started talking shit?
Yep, he said this is bullshit. We're not using our weapons. Like they brought Des Bryant in
for nothing.
For nothing, because you're still not throwing it to the outside. I think that he got his Didn't he get his tight end hurt? One of the tight ends in Baltimore fucked up his entire knee because everything's over the middle. Everything's over the middle, short over the middle. So I don't know what they're gonna do over there, or if they just say, "Hey, we're gonna open this whole shit up and let it air it out." Like,
I mean, I watched his games in Louisville. He threw deep balls a lot, and there was a lot of connections. So I don't understand. I mean, that first game last season against Miami, he threw massive bombs down the field to Hollywood Brown.
Yep.
And to the tight end, but now those same plays just don't seem. I mean, I don't even see teams daring him to throw. Really,
I don't know what they're doing. From what I really see is they're doing the RPO shit, and then the defense is just running right at him every single time. They don't even fuck. They don't even go after the running back anymore.
No, I wouldn't either. Fuck that.
I'm gonna hit. Yep, I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah.
But they gotta draw it up where they, let your playmakers make some plays, throw them shit deep down the field, and hopefully it connects.
I definitely think they got to relook at the fact of, maybe firing the O coordinator because whatever they're doing there, it's just not working. I mean, when you look at the Chiefs, the Chiefs are opening it up like no, and take away Patrick Mahomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Chiefs run so many crazy formations, so much motion. They have fucking screens all over the fucking place. They got bubble screens. They got fucking screens on the goal line. They got screens. No, I'm serious. Like they're probably one of the most complex offenses right now in the league, and they're crushing it. I don't understand. They should start stealing some shit for some of these other teams.
That's why, like, I love Deshaun Watson. He's all over the field, bro.
He's a beast. He is a beast. He just doesn't have the weapons.
True, but that still makes him a beast. Like that's why I love Deshaun.
Yeah, he's more now fitting into the not the same kind of player, but into the same kind of mold of like a Russell.
I hope Eric Bieniemy gets that position of head coach as the offensive coordinator in Kansas City.
Yeah, he's great.
He deserves a head coach. I hope he gets Deshaun. Because right now it's looking like 1-2. It's looking like Pat Mahomes 1, Deshaun 2.
Deshaun 2? Nah, you wildin'.
Deshaun's having a sneaky great year with nothing.
Why you doing my dude Russ like that, man?
He just had the last 5 weeks. They got a chink in the armor.
Nah, but I think he's suffering from the same situation.
For sure.
He's way better than the Texans record.
For sure.
But in the same situation, like, he ain't got much too. The cupboard's empty, right?
True.
And all of a sudden, Tyler
Those are the top 3 guys.
Yes, 100%.
For sure. Now you got Rodgers right there, top 4. And I don't know if you know who's throwing in the top 5.
Is it disrespectful to put Rodgers at 4 and not 2? Because he got a chip?
He got it 10 years ago. Almost 11.
All right. So look, we're starting to wind down here. You ready to do these picks or what, bro?
For sure. All right, where are we hitting? We're at CBS?
Yeah, let's do it. CBS Sports. These guys, hopefully they do their stuff right. Can't even spell sports right. Boom. All right, bang. Let's see what we got here. It's easy. I already know the first game just because it's my squad. No. But did you see it? Which one it is? Because I want you to ask me. Okay, so actually, it switched it up on CBS. So who's the first game on you for CBS? Detroit, Chicago?
Wait, what the fuck is this?
Just go to schedule, man.
Yeah. Nah, it took me to some other shit.
Yeah, I know.
I got Detroit, Chicago.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So I'll ask it first, and then we'll just go from there. Okay.
Okay.
Detroit Lions, the better looking Detroit Lions, the Patricia minus Detroit Lions go against Chicago, and we don't know who plays quarterback for the Chicago Bears, but they play each other. Division game. What are you thinking?
I think I'm gonna go with Detroit. I think they're gonna play inspired. They're gonna go out there and say, "Fuck Matt Patricia, you bitch," and and go out there and ball out. I think it's gonna be one of those games where, like, all right, see, we were better without you, kind of thing. Where, like, you was holding us back, and I think they're gonna play inspired just for this game. And the Chicago's, I think if they would have signed Cam Newton, they would have been Gucci. I think the Bears fucked up. And sign anybody, or even like leave Trubisky in there until you lose a game. Like they were 3-0 when they switched.
I know.
So I'm gonna go with Detroit. All right, let's go. So let's go with Detroit.
And then who's
my
your
fantasy guy? I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford.
Cool, awesome. All right, I'm gonna try to make this fast so get it all out. They should definitely fire Matt Nagy for having the biggest blunder in the whole wide world. I don't know. You're winning. You don't change quarterbacks. I just watched the most recent game with Detroit. I'm really sad for Matt Stafford. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and this guy doesn't even smell the playoffs. It's on the road. What's the spread on this? That's the thing that fucked me up because now I've been fucking with the pull up the spreads on these. So that way I can get this.
3.
Big okay, perfect. Oh, that's easy.
The Detroit's on the road, so they plus 3.
Plus 3. Fuck it, let's go. We'll take Detroit plus 3. I think it's gonna be a tough game, but I'm gonna take Detroit all day, and I'm gonna get somebody crazy who's been on my radar. If you're looking for a fantasy player to plug in, start Adrian Peterson. I think that the guys that are in charge now understand that you have AP, run AP. Like I don't understand why we're not running fucking AP. I know they got Swift, but you should.
He's in concussion protocol. He's not playing this week.
Right, but what I'm saying is you haven't had Adrian Peterson all fucking season, and he's barely touched the ball 5 times. Get the fuck out of here. So boom. Next one.
All right, we got Bengals at Miami. Miami's minus 10.5.
Wow. Shit. God damn it.
And Fitzmagic might play.
Okay. All right. Shit. That's a tough one. I'm gonna take Cincinnati to cover.
Okay.
It's in Cincinnati?
No, it's in Miami.
Yeah, I'll still take. Oh, fuck. No, I'll switch it. No. I'm gonna stick with my gut. This is funny shit. I'm gonna take Cincy because the 10 is just too much. And they actually play good. Like even though Burrows is not there, it looks like the offense has kind of figured out their identity, which is throwing the ball. And their second-year quarterback is already familiar with the system. I'd still love Fitzmagic. I think that you and I both agree the coach from Miami should be coach of the year, or definitely one of the final candidates.
For sure.
Miami has been phenomenal. I still think they should have kept my man Fitzmagic in there. So I'm gonna take Fitzmagic as my fantasy player And if he plays, if he doesn't play, I'll take any of the Miami quarterbacks. How about that? Whatever Miami quarterback starts, that's what I'm taking.
All right, I'm gonna take Miami as well. I'm gonna take Miami to win and to cover, and then probably the fantasy guy. I'll probably go with Devontae Parker. That's what I'm gonna go.
By the way, this is my new animal. This guy's filthy. Catches everything.
Yep.
Everything. One of the best receivers in the league, hands down. He doesn't score that much, so I put him in my top 10, not top 5. But unbelievable. Yep. And he has great chemistry with Fitzmagic.
Yep.
All right, so I don't think we have it in the same order, so we're just gonna be jumping around because we're kind of smart. So the Indianapolis Colts with my guy Philip Rivers, the senior citizen, is heading to Houston to play Deshaun Watson. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Deshaun 3 plus 3. I'm gonna take Deshaun. I think it's gonna be a shootout, and I just think he'll pull off some miracle in this game. I think I'm gonna take the Texans to cover plus 3, and I think my guy's gonna be Deshaun Watson.
All right, I'm gonna go totally opposite, and super opposite. The Colts have one of the best defenses in the league. Yep. I think they might be top 10. I'm gonna take them, and I'm gonna take Philip Rivers. Another whatever the coaching staff has done there, the fact to replace Andrew Luck in such a short time, to get Philip Rivers in the building, and to basically pepper in the other quarterback as like another option,
like a gadget.
I like everything that they're doing there. You can't even name any of their players besides T.Y. Hilton. And T.Y. Hilton just scored for the first time all season last year. I think you're going to see more of that. But yeah, they're throwing to nobodies and they're killing it. So, and they, according to you, was it you? It might have been you. They have, it was you. They have the best offensive lineman in the game. Yep. So great offense, great defense. I'm taking the Colts on that one.
All right, now we have the Raiders at the Jets.
What is the spread on this? Is it 19.5?
Plus 8 for the Jets. 19.5.
This is such a fucking trap game, at least for a better, because if you're fucking betting with your heart, it's going to suck. So, because I came from LV, I'm going to take LV. 8, I think, is doable.
Yep.
Because I think Derek Carr has been playing better. Jacobs has been playing better. Waller, right? Their tight end is great. So I'm gonna go Raiders, and I'm gonna take Waller.
All right, I'm gonna go with you on that because the Jets are just the Jets, and they're playing for Trevor. Right. And so we're gonna go.
Trevor maybe staying back in school now.
Yeah, I think he should just do what the Eli did and just force his way. Say I'm not going.
Wow, crazy.
Say trade me. So Raiders, I'll take the 8, and I'll take Josh Jacobs.
Nasty. Okay. Boom. This is going to be an interesting game. I want to hear the spread on this one. So Jacksonville with Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon is back.
He's been balling.
Going to play Minnesota. And I think we got to start giving a little bit of love to Kirk Cousins. I usually be poo-pooing him, but Kirk Cousins could kind of sling the rock.
He can, but it's just those big-time games is where...
I get you, but that team is loaded. You know, you got Jefferson emerging as a wide receiver now, as a legit wideout. This guy was in a pretend COVID protocol because he tested. It was a false positive. I mean, it was a false positive.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Exactly. But I like the Vikings offense. What are you digging?
All right, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville to cover because it's plus 10.
Pretty good. 10. Okay.
10. So I'm gonna take Jacksonville to cover, and I'm gonna go with James Robinson, the rookie running back.
Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna take Jacksonville to cover in this game as well, even though I was gushing on Minnesota. But I definitely think it 10's a lot of points. Teams are starting to wear down a little bit. The season is starting to we're getting into the second half of the season, and I'm gonna take Jefferson, the wide receiver, as my fantasy player for that game.
Got you. Now we have the Saints come marching into Atlanta. Atlanta's plus 3 at home.
This is a game that really has me really crazy because I have him on my team and I have not started him week 1 or week 2 of his ridiculous performance. I can't even believe the quarterback for the Saints, the backup, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, excuse me. I always call him Jason Hill, but Taysom Hill at least can score touchdowns with his legs. I don't know so much about with his arm. They blow them out the last time. I'm still gonna take the Saints. You said it's 3?
Yeah.
I'll take it all day. I'll take the Saints and I'll take the 3. And I'm gonna start them this week. So I'm gonna take Taysom. as my player, but don't expect a lot. If you got a 2 quarterback system, you put him in. He should not be starting as your quarterback.
No shot. All right, we're gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the Saints as well. I think just the coaching matchup is just better. Sean Payton is just gonna do something. Probably run the ball 78 times, or some.
By the way, what a great coach, huh?
Yep.
This guy's unbelievable.
Or something. It should have been in the Super Bowl the last maybe 3 years.
I know.
It just got some crazy bad breaks.
Not only that, you could probably argue that now Breeze is limited.
Yep. So I'm gonna go with Saints to cover, and I'll probably take Michael Thomas.
Nice. Okay, this one is definitely made for you. I don't know, your boy, your quarterback went down, but we'll see who's playing this week.
We're in first place, baby. That's what that matters. Hoorah!
The first place New York Giants.
Let's go
to Seattle.
I'm taking the Giants to cover because it's plus 11.
Shit.
So I'm taking the Giants to cover. We're gonna lose, but I'm gonna take the Giants to cover, and I'm gonna take DK in this game. He's just been on another.
Oh my God, he's filthy. He's filthy. And last week they
balling.
lost because they didn't feed him enough.
He's just been on another level. So I'm gonna stay with DK, but my Giants cover, baby.
So I'm gonna take the G-Man to cover too, and I'm gonna take Russ. I gotta say, ever since Joe started boxing fools in the fucking locker room, now the team gets it. They're like, look, you don't want to get punched by the coach, so you better start playing better.
The shit.
But Russ is, one of the best quarterbacks right now in the league. I like what he's got done with DK. Actually, I'm gonna have a weird call out because I'm like, listen, why are you not throwing the rock also to lock it? Like they got 2 dynamic guys who are leading the league in catches and in yards received. Where you guys at? I feel like they're limiting themselves and they're trying to get too creative. So just play regular fucking football and throw the ball. So right. I'm gonna take Russ and the G-Man to cover.
Got you. Now we have the Browns at Tennessee, and Tennessee's minus 5.5.
So last week I fucked up because the Browns got the worst fucking defense. I'm gonna take Tennessee on this. King Henry, unbelievable. I mean. Some circles are arguing that he's the MVP of the league. We obviously know that that's not 100% true.
It's just because he's a running back.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's not what usually pulls it.
It's only quarterbacks.
My hat off to everything that Tennessee has done. They played crazy schedules. They got COVID early. They've been able to overcome crazy things. Their coach is great. They got great wide receivers. They got King Henry, and Tannehill is awesome. So I'm gonna take them to cover. I do like the Browns though, and so because I do like the Browns, I'm gonna take Baker as my player.
All right, I'm gonna take the Browns to cover as well. I just think they're running the rock at an amazing level, and they're leading the league in rushing. So I think this game, I was watching Undisputed, and Skip and Shannon was saying that this game might be the fastest game in history, just because both teams are committed to running the rock. So the clock is going to keep running and running and running and running and running. So I'm probably going to take Nick Chubb in this.
Yeah, Nick Chubb. By the way, King Henry, Nick Chubb, best 2 running backs in the league, and Kareem Hunt is making an argument for it too now.
Yep.
God bless that the Browns are above 500. It's been a long time.
Yep.
What's the next game on here?
We got Rams at Arizona.
All right.
And Rams are favored 2.5.
I'm going to take the Rams only because they have the best defense in the league. I also think that Kyler Murray and the offense is starting to slow down a little bit. People are starting to understand.
Figure him out.
Yeah, make sure you cover Hopkins.
That's it.
7 guys on him. And then,
and everybody else.
You need 7, right? Because he'll catch it on 3. And that's it. I think you could take the air literally out of the ball. They don't have a running game. Drake is okay, but he's not that dynamic. I mean, he had a good running game last week. But they look like they're losing a little steam, and I think they're going to be pissed off by losing that close game to San Fran.
Got you.
What was it? You said 2, right? That's easy.
2.5, yep. So I'm going to take the Rams to cover 2 as well. The Rams have been playing good football lately, and Aaron Donald's just a different animal. So I might, and I'm thinking taking the defense, but Kyler Murray could run the ball, so I'm not going to disrespect him like that. So I'm going to go probably with Cooper Kupp again.
All right, that sounds good. That's probably the best offensive player, even though I love Robert Woods. Cooper Kupp's the guy that catches touchdowns.
Yep.
All right.
Go ahead.
Philadelphia heads to Green Bay to play Aaron Rodgers. What do we got?
I'm gonna take Green Bay all day with the
What's the spread on that?
-9.
Jesus.
I'm gonna take the points times that by 2. Like the Philly just sucks. Like they look like a bad team. Carson Wentz looks like hot dog shit. He looks like a baked potato, hands down. Like he just looks. I thought Daniel Jones was trash, but he makes Daniel Jones look like fucking Peyton Manning. So that's my take on that. Fuck Carson Wentz. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers. He might have another 4 touchdowns like he did last week.
Of course.
And
Adams,
that's my take.
Who are you taking?
Green Bay to cover and Aaron Rodgers.
Done. Did I don't even think I gave a player in that Rams zoner game. But I'm gonna take the guy he's gonna throw the rock to, Devontae Adams. That's it. 9 for sure. I don't know what's happening in Philadelphia. It's like the greatest implosion after winning a Super Bowl I've ever fucking seen.
They're consistently hurt on both sides of the ball.
They should have cut a deal with Foles where it was like, look, we can't max you out on the big contract, but you take 50 million for 2 years, hang around, or they should have franchised him.
Something.
You know what I mean? They should have figured out something because now he can't play in the Bears, and apparently there's no quarterback in Philadelphia.
Nope.
So for sure. All right.
We got New England. We got the Patriots with Mr. Superman at Chargers, and the Chargers are -1.5.
So this would be easy for me if Bill Belichick wasn't involved. What's the spread on this?
1.5 Chargers.
Right. I take New England all day. even though my man is starting to look good, the Chargers are starting to look good.
But they look good all year. They just couldn't win.
Yeah, right. They're missing things. Their best player is Keenan Allen.
And Derwin James has been out.
Right. They got a lot of pieces that are missing. They don't have a running back. I think that's the big problem. They don't. I mean, now Eckler's back, so they looked a little bit better. This time they played. I was watching the game yesterday. They played tough against the Bills, but the Bills had them smoked out early. I don't know, man. Cam needs to come back and play this game hard if he wants to get any money in free agency. Because if he continues to play like this, he's gonna end up on a backup, on the Jacksonville Jaguars team or something
like that. Yep.
But I'm gonna go weird. I'm gonna take New England to win with the point, and then I'm gonna take Herbert as my fantasy player because the guy just been at least they get it.
Been balling out.
Start slinging the rock. Just throw it deep. That's it.
Right, I'm gonna go probably with the Chargers. I think the Chargers win this game. I think they just been balling out, and I'm gonna take Keenan Allen just because the Patriots looked vulnerable lately. So I'm gonna go with that. Those are my fantasy pick in my.
All right, dope. Did I introduce the last one?
I did.
Okay, cool. So Denver, apparently they got a quarterback now. I don't know how true that is, but they go play the best team, hands down, best coach, best quarterback, best wide receiver, best tight end in the league, the Kansas City Chiefs.
I take the Chiefs. My rule of thumb, is my
how much is that?
It's
shit?
13.5. I'm gonna just take the Chiefs just because.
That's it, Papa.
Denver don't got nobody.
Nothing.
Denver don't have anybody, and then I'll go with the Cheetah to have another 400-yard game.
Bro, he's on my fantasy team. That guy, I said it right. I'm gonna say it right now. I've been saying it. I tweeted it. The best wide receiver in the game, hands down.
The fact that he could just burn you.
Smoke. Bro, I think his speed in Madden is like 97.
It reminds me of when we used to play NFL 2K. Just throw it deep and just run math ass and catch it.
Remember we punching that shit and let's just try to outrun the DB.
That's it.
You go around the motherfucker. You're so fast that you can correct your line.
And you had to wait. Sometimes you could wait for them because it was so fast. Yep.
So this is ridiculous. They're just head and shoulders above everybody else. I hope they don't get too full of themselves. But wow. But I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna try to be a little smarter here because I've been with my homies in Vegas, and I'm trying to do this shit now. I'm gonna take Denver to cover.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take Patrick. I think they're seeing this a lot. And the underdogs usually perform well. And being a division game, you never know.
Gotcha.
Right? They might get some fool off the street, some homeless guy to play quarterback and high school as an animal. So that's that. All right, and then this week we got 2 Monday night games.
Yep. And the Tuesday game.
Oh, right, and the Tuesday game. So we got all the games, Papa.
Yep.
So we'll take Washington with Alex Smith for starting to look good.
Yep.
Against the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh just because it's -7.
Okay, that's good.
I just think Pittsburgh's defense has been lights out. Like
TJ, baby, TJ, and Fitzpatrick.
But Dupree just got hurt. So he might have ACL injury.
Michael Fitzpatrick is just so good.
But yeah, they're balling and on the Steelers. I'm gonna take Pittsburgh to cover, and then my fantasy player probably will be Juju.
Oh yeah, he's starting to come up. It looks like Juju's better when he has other people take off some of the pressure.
Yep.
And then he starts to ball like crazy. When he has other guys that the ball could get to, he starts to play like a number one, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go in a different direction. This is the week the Steelers lose. This is the week. Okay. I like my man. He's struggling with the cancer. You know, he's Ron Rivera. Kudos to him to be fighting it out the whole season. Kudos to Alex Smith to come back from like 1,900 surgeries and come back and play in the NFL. I think they're running back Gibson, who's going to be my fantasy player. That's some crazy shit that a lot of people don't know about. Running back Gibson is going to be my starting fantasy player for this game. I think they're gonna control the time of possession, and the Steelers really haven't had as of lately a slam dunk win. So I think 7 is a lot. They eke out wins.
Yep.
I'm gonna take the Skins in this, and I'm gonna take the running back Gibson in this game.
Okay. We have the Buffalo Bills at San Francisco.
Oof.
-1 for San Francisco.
Oh man, that's so lovely. Damn, they got a lot of tease games that you can look like money in this shit. I'm gonna take Buffalo. You could also argue that Josh Allen is up there right now, top 5 quarterback. Also, I would argue that he could be considered for the MVP race. He doesn't have the same numbers, but Buffalo wins.
Yep.
Buffalo wins at home, and Buffalo wins on the road. And then, you know, San Francisco's got a lot of problems. They got a lot of guys that are not playing. So, and 1 point, that seems easy. So I'll take Josh Allen, and I'll take the Bills to win this game by more than a point.
Okay, I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to take the 49ers to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brandon Ayuk does play this week, and he's been their stud wide receiver, a rookie wide receiver. So I'm going to go with him as my fantasy pick. And San Francisco has been playing better. They beat these guys last week, and single-handedly too. It looked like they were power running, zone running, getting these guys in space. And Deebo Samuel comes back this week as well.
By the way, they've become like the fucking Patriots, bro. This is the hardest team to try to get a fantasy player off of.
Yep.
They have like 3 running backs.
They just pick whoever's ready to who's cooking.
Whatever we got, we're going to go with it. Okay. And then this is weird. So did Lamar clear COVID protocol to play this game?
I think he's going to play this week.
Baltimore?
I think he plays this week.
I'm
not 100% sure. I'm 7.5 for Baltimore.
All right. I'm going to take Dallas to cover.
Okay.
Go crazy. I think a lot of people last week, Andy Dalton started cooking. I think they have a good team. They just missing a quarterback. You got Lamb, you got Zeke, and you got Cooper. That should be enough. And they got your guy who not a lot of people talk about, Schultz.
Yep.
So they got players. I like Dallas. I think Dallas is starting to build up a little bit of momentum.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, I know that's a division hate. I got you, baby. I'm just trying to think this smart. I mean, Lamar's coming off of the COVID protocol. He had COVID. Who knows if he's going to be 100? So I'm gonna just take Dallas just because of that.
All right, I'm gonna take Baltimore because Dallas sucks, and I think that Baltimore is gonna bounce back. They played pretty well 2 weeks before this whole COVID shit hit their team, so maybe they'll get all their players back for this game, and they'll be situated and ready to go. So I'm going to go with Baltimore in this game to cover the 8. And then I'll probably take... Baltimore's defense.
Did I take a Dallas player?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
Yeah, on that. I think I missed a couple of fantasy players. All right, that concludes our picks for the week. I'm super excited that we have 2 Monday night games and a Tuesday night game. I want to thank everybody for listening. What were some of the comments that we had? Anything that we missed?
We had Merc. We had people here talking about other stuff. Merc said that Big Blue won't lose, but that's about it. But we had, for the most part, we had 6-7 people in here with us, rocking out with us for the most of the time. I appreciate everybody, taking their time out, hanging out with us, listening to what we got to say.
Much love to everybody in the building.
Much love. I appreciate everybody, smashing that like button for us and showing up with us every week. We'll be back next week again, and we're going to keep this train moving. 2021, I feel like 2020 has set up a big year for 2021.
Agreed.
And instead of being negative and being pessimistic, I'm being optimistic and tackling things that I want to do. And I got my partner alongside with me that we're going to be doing big things.
Yeah. And so I always said at the end of the show, I wanted to like give love to a product that I enjoyed. I wanted to give a shout out. I hope I could catch this all here. This is a Zoom H6. They don't sponsor the show, but if you thought about getting a field recorder or starting a podcast, it's a really cheap entry level situation. It works on SD, has 4 XLR cables, has a bunch of other stuff. Super sick. They just switched it because now they made a bigger one, but you could probably find this for discount. It runs for like $300, but it's great. Like I said, you can record everything on an SD card and then download it all onto your computer and make it happen. Thanks Zoom for making such a cool product. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks Jay for hanging out.
For sure. Everybody have a good night. Get home safe. I'll see you guys next week.
Done.